It's your buddy, Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Midday Monologue Monday. And what I have on my mind is aspects of board gaming. What I'm thinking about is, what is it that makes something, category-wise, a favorite aspect of board gaming to you? What makes a great tabletop adventure? To me, and I haven't been secret about this in the past, is to me, I love highly, deeply thematic board games. You see, there's a certain atmosphere that a thematic board game brings that you don't necessarily find in a non or less thematic board game. An example would be that I would consider, although it's well skinned, I think thematically the basic original Monopoly would fall into something that doesn't have theme. And if you want an example of a game that is thematically heavy, then you don't really have to look much further than Dead of Winter right there behind me, or a lot of these other games. Big Trouble in Little China is another example. Cthulhu War. I like heavily thematic games. Yes, like I was saying, atmosphere. They bring that to the game board. But more importantly, they bring that to your imagination, because it sets up an amazing theater of the mind situation. Something that brings you to that level of suspension of disbelief that you usually don't find, or sometimes might not even expect to find in a board game. In a movie term, something that helps make a game thematic is what one would call Easter eggs. And what I mean by that is everything in the game, components of the game, the way things are written in the game, the way things are drawn, the presentation, right down to the smallest bits, are all something pulled out of whatever theme that is. You see, this is what makes the difference between just playing a game and having an experience. You see, and just like with music, there are certain emotions that are connected with having such a deeply thematic experience. At different times, there's different needs, emotional needs, that sometimes can be met. Sometimes through music, sometimes through an experience. You see, and that's ultimately what I'm talking about. Because when you have a deeply thematic game, especially one that can have some sort of running story, now you're developing experiences between the players. And this is going to give lasting memories, which are going to be much more specific than when they played these non-thematic games, which, no matter how much fun they are never going to leave the impact that a good thematic game will have. So that means also that different themes are going to fill different needs at different times. Like I was saying, exactly with music. Generally, though, you're going to have your go-to themes that you're going to find most pleasurable. I want to know what some of yours are. I don't think it's a very big secret what my favorite themes are. Yes, I love thematic games. And yes, sandbox games are my favorite of the thematic games. But which ones, category-wise, genre-wise, are my favorites? I'll give you a moment to guess what my three are going to be. Will this help maybe if I show off some games? Will this help maybe? Want to take a guess? Want to take a guess? In no particular order at the moment. Fantasy, sci-fi, and high adventure. I bet a few of you were going to say superhero, right? Well, if I had given you 4 choices, that would have been the 4th one. So what are your thoughts on thematic games? There's a lot of them out there, but not every game is categorized as a thematic game, and that's for pretty good reason. It needs that extra something for atmosphere. It needs that quality that's going to drag you in to the world that you're playing. Yeah, what are some of your favorite thematic games? And if you don't like, because I have heard there are a few of you out there, if you don't like thematic games, please tell me why. No argument, no fight, just pure curiosity. Put it down in the comments and let us know why it is that you really don't care for thematic games. Thank you for joining me for this Midday Monologue Monday. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I am out of here.